what? I always tell people we complain about the rain, but then when we don't have it, we're like, ooh, my grass is dying. I need some rain. So I just decided in my old age, I'm just going to accept the weather as it is.
Judge, you know how it rained so much the other day? It was flooding.
Mm-hmm.
A week or so ago, did you hear that they found a head floating down the San Antonio River?
No.
Yeah, when they pulled it out, it was singing, I ain't got nobody.
Oh,
That's another stupid joke, Judge.
Hey, I love jokes.
I like people that laugh at their own jokes. Those are my favorite people.
Hey, then you like me.
Steve Harkowitz tells it, and then he always laughs at his own joke. Cracks me up. It's like tickling yourself.
All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Court. Today is Thursday. So everybody, let's keep it a Thursday. Let's not try to turn it into a Monday. Everyone, as you can see, there are a lot of people on the screen. So as my mom would say, put some patience in your pocket. And if you all see anybody who needs some patience, share some. All right, these are the rules of the 187 District Court. If everybody at the jail, if you can mute yourself, because we get a lot of feedback from the jail. People at the jail, you're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you're going to be sent back to your cell. You are not allowed to pick up dates on screen. And I know you guys probably ask, why is she saying that? Because it has happened. So don't try to pick up a date on the screen. You need to do that on your own time, and your own time is not this time. This is our time. To everyone who is out and about, you are not allowed to drive in Zoom. I don't want to be a witness to an accident. I don't want to cause an accident. And just know that even though you're at the jail, you're at your house, you're at work, wherever you are, whatever you could not do if you were physically in the 187th, you cannot do on this screen. So what does that mean? No laying in bed, no smoking, no cooking meals, none of that. If you do that, what's going to end up happening is your day is going to get turned into a Monday, because I'm going to require you to come down to the 187th District Court at 300 Dolorosa. So if you don't want to have to come down to the 187th District Court and inconvenience your attorney and inconvenience yourself, then you need to make sure you behave appropriately on screen. To all of the inmates, I'm not a medical doctor, but I don't think any of those masks will work if you do not have it pulled over your nose. So don't use it as a chin strap. So Delgado, pull that mask over your nose. And there's someone who's still connecting to audio. I'm going to open up breakout rooms. When I open up the breakout rooms, it will invite everyone to the breakout room. Do not, I repeat, do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call your name and assign you. Mr. Christopher Rodriguez, if you'll please stop unmuting yourself. Attorneys, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, you need to put it into the chat box, no matter how small it is. The person you're going to be putting it into the chat box to is the court coordinator. She's listed as Ferguson-Coordinator. And even if you have an agreement on a motion to revoke, you still need to put that in there, because she will need to get to you the consent to proceed by video. If your client is on bond, Ms. Ferguson in the state will need their email address so that paperwork can be sent. The way it works in this court, to all the defendants, your name will not be called. Your attorney's name will be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it's because your attorney is not on Zoom. Do not get excited. Do not get worried. They're Zooming in another courtroom. We will make sure you get a chance to hear and speak with your attorney today. The other thing, attorneys usually want to speak to the state first, and they want to speak to the state alone. So when your attorney goes to a breakout room, and I don't invite you to that breakout room yet, it's because they're going to talk to the state first. So I'm going to call the list of the name of attorneys. Attorneys, if you see that your name is low on the list and you want to Zoom to another court, you're more than welcome to Zoom to another court. However, if you Zoom to another court and your name is called, you will be put at the end of the list. Veronica Legarati, Raymond Martinez, Carl Alexander, Sonny Middleton, Miguel Hernandez, Terry Carter, Adam Cobbs, Jaime Eldape, Joe Bohack, Johnny Cisneros, Jonathan Watkins, Kelly Piddle, Albert Gutierrez, Charles May, Brian Kimbrough, Tricia Padilla, James Oltersdorf. Is there any attorney's name that I've missed?
I believe you missed my name, Your Honor.
Oh, sorry, Brian Marks. You're on the next page.
Okay.
And
Frank Sandoval.
Yes, Judge, good morning.
Good morning. Anyone else whose name I missed?
Yes, good morning, Judge. Victor Gomez.
Victor Gomez. Anyone else?
Juan Urbina.
All right. Thank you. All right, Juan, the curtain saved you from me asking for a proof of life. I'm still worried about Tricia though. There's no photos on the wall and Kelly Piddle, but he has blind, so I think he's safe.
Well, Judge,
All right.
I emailed Tricia the link, so there is some indication she's alive today.
Okay, thank you.
And
All right.
Jim Oldersdorf, speaking of Tricia, I need to go see Tricia at 9:30. You know who, Tricia? No
Sure,
nonsense, Tricia.
you can zoom out and zoom in. James,
Okay.
we're here from 9 to 5.
I'm on the PSI from yesterday on Perez.
All right, just give us a moment.
Thank
All right,
you.
attorneys, when I call your name, if you can give me your client's name and whether or not they're criminal trial division or family violence, I'll send you to a breakout room. Prosecutors will meet you there. Please be patient. Consider it like going to see your doctor. When the nurse calls you back, they're putting you in a room to check your blood pressure and your weight. If you leave the breakout room to come and tell me a prosecutor hasn't been there yet, they're going to see that the room is empty and they're going to skip over you and go to the next attorney in line. And Tricia, I know you're waiting to do your plea, so we're going to take that up after I put everybody in their rooms. Veronica Legarati, who do you have?
I have Alfonso Diaz. It's a criminal trial case. To be very honest, my client is not going to be zooming in today.
All right, we'll see what happens.
No, he's not. I don't know where he is.
Okay, well, if you want to still confer with the state, you can confer with the state. I give everyone till 10:30 to perhaps show up.
Okay, yes, Judge, that's great.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you.
Ray Martinez.
Good morning, Judge. I'm here on Juan Montes from yesterday. He's an MTR with family violence. You were going to take up his request for a bond today.
Bear County.
Okay,
And I have verified that the motion is on file with the court.
all right, just give us a second. And have you spoken to the state concerning the bond?
We've spoken about the substance of the MTR. I did not ask Tom what his position was on the bond, no.
All right, is your client, you say it's family violence or is it CTD?
Family violence, Judge. I'm sorry, CTD. You're right, CTD.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. Carl Alexander.
Morning, Judge. I have
Good
Charlie
morning.
Perkins, and it's CTD.
I'm sorry, who is it?
Charlie Perkins.
I don't know, either my allergy ear. No wonder I had the volume so low. I was like, is everybody just talking low today? All right, I'll see you to breakout room number 4.
Thanks, Judge.
Sonny Middleton.
Yes, Your Honor. Victor Alvarez. He's criminal trial division on page 7.
And I know some of you have signed in with your name as you've added attorney to your name. The reason why I move attorney is because I'm only allowed, I have so much space to type your client's name in CTD. It won't let me type everything. So that's why I move it. So no disrespect is meant. Sonny, good to
Yes,
see you. I'm
ma'am.
going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Miguel Hernandez.
Good morning, Judge. I've got two, Eduardo Munoz and Antonio Melendez. They're both CTD.
You say, and Melendez?
Antonio Melendez, yes. '20 CR 7274.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 6.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Terry Carter.
Good morning, Judge. I have Mr. Nicholas Valdez. He has both family violence and CTD. So I'll need to confer on both, please.
I'll send you to number 7.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Adam Cobbs.
Good morning, Your Honor. I've got the third-party representative for Jamarian Smith. I don't need to confer. It's a CTD case, Your Honor. We're just requesting a jury trial setting.
All right, let me grab that very quickly. Norma, I don't know if is Mr. Smith in custody or on bond? Adam is.
I thought he's still on bond, Your Honor.
He's not on bond, Judge. He's the one that wants to represent himself. He's a third party.
Okay. Where is Mr. Jamarian Smith?
You may have to ask for the third-party representative.
All right, is the third-party representative for Jamarian Smith here? Or is he the third party or the third party? How does he introduce himself, Mr. Cobbs?
That sounds all of the above.
All right, I don't see him here and he's not in the courtroom. Adam, if you want to zoom out and zoom back in, I give everyone till 10:30.
Okay, I did forward the link to him via text and email. I'll try and follow up some more.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cobbs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Adam Adope. I'm sorry, Jaime Adope.
Good morning,
Jaime.
Judge. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, good. Thank you. I have Fred Rodriguez. He's a CTD, but I don't believe he'll be showing up today. We had been having contact, but then I called and texted his mobile number, and it's no longer in service. So
I give everyone till 10:30. Have you had a chance to confer with the state?
no, but if I could just come back at 10:30, Judge, to see if he's shown up, is that fine with the court?
Yes, that's fine. Just give me
Excuse,
one
Your Honor?
moment. Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Everyone, just give me a moment, please. Norma, do you see what page Mr. Rodriguez is on?
Page 9, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca.
All right, Joe Bohack.
I'm here, Judge. I've got Jose Luis Torres. We've got a little issue here. Mr. Torres has picked up an assault bodily injury of a peace officer. I represent him. I don't represent him on that second-degree felony. I represent Mr. Torres on, I believe it's a UUMV. Mr. Brian Kimbrough, who I saw his picture pop up, is also present.
Right, I'm here.
So does Brian Kimbrough represent him? Is that your client as well, Mr. Kimbrough?
As well, yeah. I represent him on the newer case, and Mr. Bohack represents him on the earlier case.
The thing I've got here, Judge, is that Mr. Torres is, I represent him on a state jail. I don't, I'm not on I've limited myself to state jail spell because of some issues going on with my judicial appointment. And I just needed to clarify if we're going to leave 2 attorneys on it or take one of us off.
Well, I mean, it depends upon you, on both of you. Are you okay with staying on or no?
I would just as soon let Mr. Kimbrough, we'll get 1 attorney on this, Judge.
Okay.
I have no problem with that.
Easier for everybody. It's not going to hurt my feelings to step aside.
Okay. All right, then we will do that. Norma, can you put Mr. Kimbrough on all cases for Mr. Torres?
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that right now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bohack. Have a great rest of your day.
Did you get your grades in?
Yes, I did.
Okay, we'll talk later.
All right, thanks. You know, I did it early, so my students were very happy.
Take care.
All right, thank you. Brian Kimbrough, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Jenny Cisneros.
Your Honor, I have Edward Gill and it's a family violence.
Is that Gill?
Gill, yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jonathan Watkins. Jonathan Watkins. Good morning. Oh my gosh, you have the mustache working.
Yes, Judge. I just kind of
That's new. Okay.
got to switch it up.
It's
I
not
have-
working.
Hey,
Gotta, there's plenty of haters out there, Judge, but I'm just
haters gonna hate.
Yeah, exactly. I have Obed Urdiales. It's an ag assault. It's a CTD case. And then Norma was working on we had a client a couple weeks ago with those violation reports. He's incarcerated now. I don't see him there though, but so I have a CTD and a family violence.
Yeah, he
Right,
wasn't brought over. He wasn't brought over, Jonathan.
Okay, so Obed Urdiales, is that CTD?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Urdiales, I'm gonna send your attorney to breakout room number 10. When he needs you, he will request you.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Kelly Kittle.
Good morning. I have Christopher Rodriguez. It's an aggravated robbery with CTD.
Okay, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 11.
Thank you.
Everyone, we're getting close to the lucky room that everyone wants to be in. Albert Gutierrez.
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Colson, and it's family violence.
I'll send you to breakout room number 12. All right, and lucky room number 13 is going to Charles May. Charles?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here on Mr. Frederick Sanchez, a CTD.
I'll send you to breakout room number 13.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right. Trisha Padilla, I'm skipping over you right now because I know we're doing a plea and your plea is ready. So just give me a moment. James Osterstucker is on the phone. Oh, you're muted.
Well,
Hi.
I was looking for Mr. Perez. He was recalled from yesterday. I did not tell him to be here, but he always shows up in the courtroom.
Is it Johnny Perez?
Yes, I didn't see him.
He's in the court. He's in the courtroom.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's fine. We're ready to proceed then.
All right, just give me a moment. Yours is a PSI, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Brian Marks.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm glad I'm not on the other page. I just got ahead of myself this morning.
No problem. Who do you have?
I have Rianne Flores. So it's going to be CTD.
I'm sorry, what's the first name?
Rianne, Ryann.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 14.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Frank Sandoval.
Your Honor, good morning. I'm here on Mr. James Marcus Freeman. Unless there's special circumstances, Judge, it should be a criminal trial. I was appointed after another attorney got off, so I'm not sure of that, but it should be criminal trial. It's a failure to stop and render aid. So unless it's a family member that he wasn't stopping and rendering aid to, it should be criminal trial.
All right, I sent you to breakout room number 15. James
appreciate
Freeman. James Freeman.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not
Okay.
dressed appropriately for court. You need some sleeves.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No problem. You know, I say
Ma'am,
people don't know unless somebody tells them.
Miss Boyd,
Yes.
Your Honor, this is all I have is muscle shirts, and that's all I have. And if there's any way may I speak to you real quick?
Yes.
I'm on full house arrest. I'm sick. I got heart condition. I need to pay my bond and I need to get my medicine.
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you this. One, now you're trying to talk to me about bond issues. I'm talking about your shirt issue. So you're telling me that all you have are muscle shirts, and that's what you wear during wintertime. So during Snowmageddon, you were wearing a muscle shirt.
My friend bonded me out, and I don't have no money. I don't have no money now. I swear to God,
so you're telling me, wait, no. Here's the thing. A lot of people don't have any money, but you're telling me, and how old are you?
37.
You're telling me, and you're 37 years on the planet, and I'm just going to assume that when you reached 30, you started buying your own clothes. You're telling me, here's the thing. So you're telling me from 30 to 37, the only outfits that you have ever bought has been a muscle shirt. So you have muscle shirts in every color. That's what you're telling me?
Your Honor, what I had to my name when I came home was what I went in on with. All my clothes were in my car. I swear to God, all my clothes were in my car. My car's in the pound.
All right, have a seat. We'll get with you. All right, Victor Gomez.
Morning, Judge. I have Theodis Carpenter, and if I can confer with the DA, Joe Ray Garcia.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 16.
Thank you, Judge.
And Mr. Freeman, you should probably go back into your apartment, because my understanding, if you're on full GPS, you're not supposed to be outside.
Yes, ma'am.
Juan Urbina.
Yes, Judge.
Yes, who do you have?
Mr. Eric Delgado. It's 2 cases CTD. Eric Delgado.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 17.
Thank you, Judge.
Jason Goss. Jason Goss.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I'm doing a plea in a different court. I'm gonna try
All
to-
right, well, you can mute, and we'll come back and get you at another time.
Well, I can tell you, Judge, that I have Noah Cruz. He is present. He's in the Zoom room right now. I have spoken to Joe Ray about this case, and he gave me an offer last night late. So I guess I need a reset from the court so I can discuss the offer with my client.
Just give me a moment. All right, we're going to take Tricia Padilla, and then we're going to do James Oltersdorf if he's here. Is there a prosecutor available? Let me see who's on screen. Thom Nisbet, are you available?
You will be in a second, Your Honor. We just finished up.
Okay.
And
let me see.
to that end, do you mind if I advise the court, Your Honor? We agreed to PTD in that matter. The
Oh, just give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, sorry, I was just putting a file in the PTT box.
Oh, no
what
problem.
can I do for you, Your Honor?
Yes, if you could take this plea with Tricia.
Yes, Judge.
Court is calling 2021 CR 2982A, State of Texas versus Mark Anthony Marino. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Thom Nisbet for the state.
For the defense?
Trisha Morales Padilla.
And are you Mr. Marino?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No.
Mr. Marino, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Marino, I'm showing you the true bill of indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, it appears that you're proceeding on the indictment as presented. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Marino, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Marino, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at 1 year in the state jail facility. There is no application for deferred adjudication. The state recommends community supervision, and there's $57 to San Antonio Police Department for drug testing. Did you understand that to meet the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charging the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State Office Exhibit 1 and attachments.
No objection.
Moreno, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. Off the record, Brenna, I'm apologize. I was talking so fast. Forgive me. I forgot.
It's okay.
Right. It's like in typing class. I know some people didn't take typing, but we would start off typing very fast just to warm up our fingers. I didn't even give you a chance to warm up your fingers. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I would just ask that you follow the recommendation of the district attorney's office that we are also in agreement. He would like to just accept responsibility, start his probation, and move on from this.
All right, Mr. Marino, who is Annette Zavala?
I'm sorry?
Who is Annette Zavala?
I was hired to do some salon work for her. I was her shampoo boy, but I have no connection or no contact with her at all anymore.
All right, so. All righty, so Annette had some drugs too. There are different
Judge,
things
she was-
happening at the salon.
She was just here the other day. Ed Bartolome was her lawyer.
Okay. All right, Mr. Marino, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I'll be clean.
All right, when's the last time you used drugs?
I actually haven't used in over 6 months.
I'm sorry, what?
6 months.
What do you do for a living?
What do I do? I am a housekeeper.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 2 years, $57 to San Antonio Police Department for drug testing, proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment with vulnerable persons. What that means is you're not allowed to be employed as a home health care provider or in any job that requires you to supervise minors.
Yes, ma'am.
There's 100 hours of community service restitution, or you can pay $7.25 per hour to the San Antonio Food Bank. There is to be regular Zoom reporting, or you can report in person. There's to be random UAs, or you can do the patch. The patch is more expensive, but the patch allows you to be less constrained with time.
Oh, no, I'll just do the regular.
No, you can discuss that with probation.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm giving you the option.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna want once a month, random field visit. Rebecca, is there anything else he would need?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Moreno, do you need anything else from the court in order to be successful on this probation?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Probation will meet you there shortly. Just be patient. And Ms. Padilla, you can go to number 1, or you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right. James Oltersdorf, are you here? Okay, he is not here. All right, then Rebecca, you can go to breakout room number 1.
Okay.
All right, who is the person who talked with Thom Nisbet and you said you had a pretrial diversion?
That would be me, Your Honor, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject earlier.
Oh, no problem. And it's on Ryan Flores.
Yes, ma'am.
Norma, on Ryan Flores, can we have a 30-day reset for pretrial diversion update?
The 24th, Judge.
All right, so you and your client need to be back on the 24th, and you can come back by Zoom. And that's June 24th.
We'll be there, Judge.
All right, thank you. Make sure your client has filled out all the paperwork.
Yes, ma'am, will do. And thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Oh, thank you, you too. Anyone else back from the breakout room?
Remind, Your Honor.
All right, Johnny Cisneros, then we'll do Veronica Legarate, then we'll do Raymond Martinez. Johnny Cisneros.
Judge, I still want to stay on the trial docket or Mr. Edward Gill, please.
All right, Edward Gill, where are you?
Right here, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Gill. Norma, can we bring him back so I can give him a trial date?
Yes, ma'am. Gil.
This is Sunny back from conferring.
All right, just give me a moment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Just trying to look for him on the docket. Oh, he's the 5th setting judge. He's gonna come back on the 28th, Judge.
All right, Mr. Gill, we're going to have you come back on May 28th. At that time, I'm going to give you your jury trial date. Jury trials have started up again in San Antonio. So that's when we're going to recall you. Mr. Cisneros, if
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have any pretrial motions that need to be heard, if you'll just get in touch with the coordinator so she can put you on the docket for us to hear those before the jury trial, if you desire it to be heard before jury trial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We have you down for jury trial and we'll see you back on May 28th by Zoom, Mr. Gill.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, you both are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
Ray Martinez, I think you may take a little bit longer than Veronica. So Veronica,
I conferred with Hunter, Judge. We have an offer, but I need to speak to my client about it. But
where is Alfonso Diaz?
I don't know, Judge. He's the one who I told you when I first announced that he would not be zooming in. He's unaware of today's court date.
All right, well, what I can tell you is that the docket that's sent out, it's sent out to people by the last known address that they have given us in the system. So they either appear in court or either they appear on Zoom. The link is just provided so people can appear by Zoom, but he does, and he has received the notice, and he would have received the notice through mail. I give everyone till 10:30 to show up. If you would like to come back at 10:30 and call the bondsman or whomever, we can, or if you want to hear it now, we can hear it now.
Judge, honestly, I spoke with the bonds person yesterday and have the same contact information as I do.
All right. Is there a prosecutor available, please? Let me see who we have here.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. Court is calling 2021 CR 2957, State of Texas versus Alfonso Ruben Diaz. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Thom Nisbet.
For the defense?
Veronica Legarreta.
All right, we're proceeding by Zoom because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
Nope.
Any objections from the defense?
No, ma'am.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:48 a.m. For the record, there has not been an Alfonso Ruben Diaz on the Zoom screen. Deputy Laura, has there been an Alfonso Ruben Diaz in the courtroom at all today?
No, Your Honor, he has not.
All right. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Not for some time, Judge. Not in the past couple months.
All right, state.
Judge, we asked for a warrant and a bond forfeiture.
All right, that'll be granted, and I'm going to remand your client without bond. If you do get in touch with your client and he presents himself, of course, the court will reconsider.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you have nothing else with us, you're excused. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, Judge.
Thank you.
I'll be right back, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Raymond Martinez.
Judge, we've conferred, the state has we have no agreement on the bond issue.
All right, who did you confer with?
I conferred with Hunter, but I think he was talking to Tom off screen. So I think both of them were involved.
Okay, just one moment. Let me see if I can find the motion on one. And is your case indicted?
It's an MTR, Judge.
Okay.
And it's not going to be contested, Your Honor. He's going to plead true at the next setting.
All right, does your client have a middle name? Because I'm looking for his file and I don't see it.
Juan Francisco Montes, Judge. He might have been a holdover from yesterday.
Usually with these, y'all like the lively. It's a juicier, more productive.
All right, we're going to see if we can get your file. To the clerks, I need Juan Francisco Montes. All right, Sonny Middleton.
Yes, Your Honor, I have conferred with Hunter and have an offer. I'm in the same boat as Miss Veronica, though. I have not been able to find my client after he's been released.
Okay.
And I have called the bonds people. I have all the same numbers they have.
All right, is anyone available? Is a prosecutor available?
Can do it.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR.
Too slow, Tom.
Court is calling 2021 CR 2955, State of Texas versus Victor Alvarez. Can I have parties announced for the record? Just one second. Christopher Rodriguez. Unmute, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in a vibrating chair on Zoom?
No, ma'am. No,
Why
ma'am.
are you in a lazy boy? And more importantly, I'm sure the neighbors want to know, why is there a lazy boy on your front porch?
I'm on the back porch, ma'am, because my roommate has company. It's it.
No.
It's his house. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Your Honor.
No problem. I know people put furniture on porches all the time. Just give me a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Court is calling 2021 CR 2955, State of Texas versus Victor Alvarez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
David Martin.
For the defense?
Sonny Middleton.
We're proceeding by Zoom because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
For the record, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:52 a.m. There has not been a Victor Alvarez on the Zoom screen. Is there a Victor Alvarez in the courtroom, Deputy Laura?
No, Your Honor, he is not.
And has there been a Victor Alvarez in the courtroom at all today?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
I have not, Your Honor.
And have you attempted to contact your client?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
State?
That's for a bond forfeiture and a warranty issue.
All right, that'll be granted. I'm going to remand your client without bond. Of course, if you're able to get in touch with your client and present them to the court, I'll reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Do you have anything else with us, Ms. Middleton?
No, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, Mr. Martinez, Ray Martinez.
Yes, Your Honor.
I do have your file now. And where's Mr. Montes?
I saw
All
him.
right, is there a prosecutor available for this bond issue? Let me see. Is Marcus or Tom available? All right, as soon as we.
Judge, can I have like one?
Sure.
You know what? No, let's just do it now. And then I'll finish what I'm doing. Let's just, yes, Tom is
Okay.
available.
All right, the court is going to call 2018 CR 11464, State of Texas versus Juan Francisco Montes. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Thom Nisbet, can you read me the cause number one more time, please?
It's 2018 CR 11464.
Here.
All right, and for the defense?
Raymond Martinez.
All right, and are you Mr. Montes? Could you unmute for me, please? Are you Juan Francisco Montes?
I can't hear you.
Yes. Is this your client?
Yes, it is, Judge.
Is he not speaking English? What's going on? with him?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections to us proceeding by video? State?
No, Judge.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we're here. Mr. Martinez, you're asking for a bond. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll hear your arguments.
Judge, we conferred on the substance of the motion to revoke yesterday, and we anticipate a plea of true. This is not going to be a contested MTR. The recommendations the state are making are going to require him to either go to treatment, ISF, or revocation. It's going to be one of those options. So he'd like to make arrangements. He got arrested, obviously, not knowing it was coming, and his house is unattended to, and his dogs are unattended to. He's just looking for a couple of weeks to sort all that out, and then he will come back and enter his plea of true, either open to the court, or maybe we'll come to an agreement. And we're asking for a reasonable bond so we can do that, Judge.
State?
Judge, we would ask for a bond of $20,000.
All right, so right now he's remanded without bond. The reason why he's remanded without bond is because he didn't show up for court July 30th, 2020. Then we finally had a hearing, and he's been missing since then. So,
Judge, but
I mean, the state is asking for $20,000.
we'll agree on that amount, Judge.
Okay. Then we'll do agreed bond at $20,000. And when, let me see, this is an old case. Norma, can you recall this in 2 weeks, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And it'll be set for a contested.
Give me 1 second.
And if it's not contested, then it's not contested.
Okay.
And Mr. Martinez, I don't see your motion for a bond. Could you email that to the court, and I will sign the order, please?
I will, Judge. I have my copy that it was received, but I'll send it right now.
All right, thank you. Sometimes paperwork gets lost.
Judge, I'm gonna have to push it for the week of June 9th in the afternoon.
Okay, so you want to set it on June 9th?
Yes, ma'am. June 9th.
All right. Mr. Montes, we're going to go on the record with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Montes, your case is being recalled on June 9th at 2 p.m. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You are to appear in person in the 187th District Court on June 9th at 2 p.m. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know where the courtroom is?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, so when do you need to appear in court?
June 9th,
What time?
2 p.m.
And where is that going to be?
200 North De La Rosa.
300 De La Rosa. Okay.
308. Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, we will see you then. Mr. Martinez, do you have anything else with us?
Not today, Judge. Thank you.
All right, Brenda, did you see what page this is on?
He was on yesterday's docket.
It was on yesterday, so I don't know if it made it on the recall.
Okay. All right, thank you. Norma, can you let them know that 14F can go back? And Mr. Martinez, if you'll email that to me, please.
Yeah, beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you. You too, Mr. Montes.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Ray? The clerks just brought it to me.
Sure.
He logged on.
No.
Yeah, meet the.
I'm sorry, Judge. I think you were talking to me and I logged off.
Oh, no problem. I wanted to let you know that the clerks found the motion for
Okay.
me. And so
Awesome.
you don't need to email it.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
Sure. And we'll see you on June 9th.
Yes, ma'am.
James Olterstor. James Olterstor. All right. Albert Gutierrez.
Good morning, Your Honor. I conferred with David Martin. I have a motion to alter conditions. My client's bond asking to remove the GPS monitor. I only have argument unless you would like to verify the information that I proffered for my client.
All right. Is the state in agreement with removing the monitor?
We'll leave it up to the court.
Okay.
Judge, my client has been on the monitor for a year now.
Just 1 second.
Oh, I apologize.
No problem. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 5338, State of Texas versus Stephen Michael Colson. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
David Martin.
for the defense?
Albert Gutierrez.
And are you Stephen Colson?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections.
All right, Mr. Gutierrez, you have a motion to alter conditions of bond and GPS. State, have you had a chance to review the motion and are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may begin.
Judge, as it states in the motion, there's two, first of all, very important points. One of them, my client is living in Lubbock County, where he is confined unless he has permission from the court to travel in one way or the other. The complainant and her family live in Bexar County. So there's a 7-hour driving difference certainly between the two. Secondly, he has performed well on bond. There have been two issues. One back in January where the monitor went south or went sour, and he arrived in San Antonio back in early January around the midnight hour, which was late. So a warrant was issued for his arrest. That warrant was lifted 2 or 3 days later, and then he was, it took the jail about 2 weeks to release him. In the last 2 weeks, the monitor went south again, and it was about 10 in the morning when he was called by pretrial services that he had to be down in San Antonio by 5. My client does not have a driver's license. He made it to San Antonio, but he was required, his wife has a driver's license, so his wife had to drive him, and he had to pull his children out of school because nobody would have been able to take care of them. So there's a little bit of a burden on him. But most importantly, Judge, he has not violated any bond condition, and he has done well. And the distance between the complainant and my client is fairly substantial. So we're asking that requirement be removed until trial.
Okay, and why is he required to come to Bexar County?
When in order to change out the monitor, both times he was required to, because there was an issue with the monitor, whether it wouldn't charge. And the last time It had to do with, there was an update in the software or something like that, but they required him to be in Bear County in order to take care of that.
All right, and how often does that happen where he's required to be in Bear County?
So far it has happened twice, Your Honor, but both times the notice is that day. And it's just almost, I mean, the last time he made it, the first time he didn't make it. And we had, you know, he was in the county for over 2 weeks, I think.
Okay, would there be an issue if it were just tracking? Because I think the issue here is based upon the nature of the offense. And Mr. Colson, I want to let you know, I'm not accepting the offense as true that you committed it because I don't have any facts. So all I can do is go on what the nature of the charge is. So I think part of the concern for me is, you know, protecting the complainant, making sure there's no contact with the complainant. The complainant is in Bear County. I understand that you've been under the monitor for a year and you've been doing well on it. So that's why I'm asking whether or not there would be this issue if it were just tracking. Because if it's just tracking, they would know if he has contact with the complainant or if he goes to the complainant's home. So I'm trying to figure out if that's an issue.
Well, you know, frankly, Judge, I don't think that is an issue, and the monitor is not so much the issue by itself. It's the issue of they call him at 10 in the morning. I'm not casting blame on anybody here, by the way. And they say, be here by 5, or we're going to have a warrant issued for you. And it's 2 times, and 1 time a warrant was actually issued, and he does his best, but he has no driver's license for whatever reason. He needs to pick up his whole family and move down here. So, I mean, that's really the main issue is this.
What if they were to give him a 24-hour notice?
Well, I wish they would do that. Yeah, I mean, that would be.
That would be nice. Okay. If they did a 24-hour notice, then that would solve his problem?
That would essentially solve the problem. I mean, unless they did it every week. I mean, he doesn't have very much money. But yeah, that in the 2 circumstances that we're dealing with, that would have solved the problem and he could have made it.
All right, State. Let's start with, how do you feel about tracking only?
Judge, when the defense and I talked, we had told him that we would leave the decision up to the court.
All right, so let's try tracking only. And then if the issue is they want him to come to Bear County, because it seems to the court, and I could be wrong, it seems to the court that they know where he is. So it seems that they should probably be able to give him a 24-hour notice. However, if there's some issue where they're not getting a signal, then things will be different. So they may want to, and here's the thing, Mr. Gutierrez. Let me be a mediator here.
Okay.
So if there's an issue where there's no signal or something is going wrong, I'm assuming your client can call you and you can let the court know, because let me just tell you, the pretrial services, I will let them know that this should come to me if there's a violation, and they know how to get in touch with me. So if your client were to get in touch with you after pretrial, because I'm sure pretrial services has his phone, and they will call him and say, we're not getting the signal or something's going wrong. And then if he were to call you, and then Mr. Gutierrez, you have my email address. You can include me in the email. You can include the state in the email. And even if it's Saturday or Sunday, I always have my computer with me and I always check my emails every single day, even when I'm out of state.
And we appreciate that, Judge. And
so does that solve the problem?
It certainly helps, Judge, but I will say the first time back in January, the monitor would not charge. So somewhere between Lubbock and San Antonio, the signal was lost.
Okay.
And that is, but they had him on the phone
Mhm.
by voice, but because the signal was lost, a warrant was issued. He couldn't charge it, even if he was in Lubbock. And that was
Okay.
why he had to rush down. So, I mean, you know, I'm just trying to avoid, you know, this, let me pull everybody out of school, let me get these, you know, and
Yes.
be here. in 7
Norma?
hours.
Norma, on Stephen Colson.
I'm sorry, Judge Victor Gomez.
Now, just one moment. Norma, on Stephen Colson, can you see if someone from pretrial services can zoom in, please?
Stephen Colson? Okay, give me 1 second, Judge.
All right, we're gonna get someone from pretrial services to zoom in and we're gonna solve this issue,
Can you
Mr.
hear me?
Gutierrez.
Mr. Joyner. Okay,
Thank you.
you should call the deputy to see if he can put the paperwork in front of you so we can go over it.
Mr. Gomez, you're actually in the main room.
Sorry, Judge.
Mr. Gomez, you're in the main room and you're actually not on mute. So just give us a moment. And Mr. Gutierrez, just give us a moment. We're going to get someone from pretrial services in so we can make sure everybody's on the same page.
Thank you, Judge.
Is anyone else back from the breakout room?
I am, Your Honor, Brian Kimbrough.
Yes.
This is on Jose Torres. We conferred. I was appointed today on his other felony, and I need to review those records. The state is going to do some more research on the other case. They're going to contact the complainant. So I would like to see if we could reset it one time for us to prepare, and then we can confer on it.
All right, Norma, on Jose Torres. Can you recall this for 30 days, please?
Yes, ma'am.
My client is on, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, I see him on the screen.
The 24th, Judge.
All right, we're going to come back on June 24th.
Okay.
And at that time, the state will give you an offer.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Joyner. I'm getting called back on the other Zoom docket I have. That if you want, go ahead and start reading it, and then I'll.
There you go, Mr. Gomez.
All right, we'll see you and your client back by Zoom on June 24th. You and your client are excused. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge Jim Ultersdorf, could I go
Yes.
to Judge Carruthers' court for a few minutes? Or-
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Cornelius Cox. You're muted.
Judge,
Yes.
okay, good morning. If I can meet Marcus, is there any way I can meet him when in the breakout room and confer with him?
All right, who's your client?
Imari Friedman.
Okay, Mr. Joyner, if you got a legal question, you got to ask me, the deputies.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 2.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Jonathan Watkins, you're back.
Yeah, yes, Judge, unfortunately, I didn't get to confer, but I also need to confer with Mr. Sanders as well. I could just be placed in a breakout room on
What's your
Yurdial.
client's name?
Mr. Obed Yurdial is Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll be taking the day off.
All right, I'm gonna place you in breakout room number 3.
Thank you very much, Judge.
You're welcome. Jerry Kagan.
Yes, Judge, if I can get into a breakout room with the prosecutor for Jessica Aragon.
You say Jessica Aragon?
Arenas. I'm sorry, Judge. I'm on 2 different devices on 2 different Zooms, and
What's the last name?
that's what I have to.
Jessica
Click on.
Aragon. Is your attorney Jerry Kagan?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, her last name is Aragon. What is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal Trial Division.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5. Carl Basil.
Morning, Your Honor. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I was in the 386 earlier. I have Nancy Gonzalez. That would be criminal trial division. It's a drug case. If I can talk to the state on the case.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Kelly Piddle, you're back.
Yes, Judge, I've conferred. I'm going to get some information to the state for them to follow up with a witness that they weren't aware of. And it might go towards possibly resolving the case.
Resolving it in what way?
Well, I mean, if I'm hoping that they would dismiss it after talking with this witness, but that's kind of where.
All right,
we're
because
at.
your client's plea deadline date has expired. So
That's
I'm
correct.
assuming if this doesn't work out, then there'll be a jury trial. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, can you recall Mr. Christopher Rodriguez for the end of the month, please?
Yes, ma'am, the 28th.
All right, we're going to come back on May 28th. By that time, the state will, hopefully have your information, and then they will let you know their decision. Christopher
Sounds good.
Rodriguez, is he in custody or on bond?
He's on bond,
He's
ma'am.
in the lazy boy. You're coming back on May 28th. And at that time, I'll give you a jury trial date if this case is not taken care of.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. You and your client are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Victor Gomez?
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yes, so we conferred and spoke with ADA Joe Ray, and he's going to dismiss, continue Mr. Carpenter. He should be on.
Joe Ray, what's happening with this?
Yes, Judge, it's an MTR. I sent Rebecca a chat to withdraw the motion.
Okay. Is your client in custody?
He's in the rehab. He's the one that suffered a major stroke. He's still in specialized rehab.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right, thank you so much. You're excused. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great day. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, no, thank you for your patience. I appreciate it.
No, but thank you. Have a great day. Thank you, Joe Ray.
Okay, James DeWiggins.
Yes, Your Honor, we're here for Ronnie Benson. We were here Tuesday, and you're going to hear the issue of whether or not you would give him 30 days to get his life in order before going to SADF, but the jail sent him back before we could discuss it. So you brought him back today.
All right, and have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Benson?
Last Tuesday, I did.
Do you need to speak with him again? And have you conferred with the state?
We have, and the state was against that idea. So that's why you were going to hear it. You had brought us back in the afternoon, but the jail got him confused with somebody else and sent him back.
All right, what is your client's full name?
It's Ronnie Mae Benson.
To the courts, I need the file on Ronnie Benson, please. All right, as soon as I have that file, we will take that up.
Thank you, Judge.
Are there any other defense attorneys who are ready? Jason Goss? All right, and has anyone from Criminal Trial Division spoke with Frankie Sandoval in breakout room number 15?
I don't know, they want to talk to you. So.
probably gonna talk to me in a minute.
Judge, I think that might be the pretrial officer that just logged in.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Hey, Judge Boyd, sorry about that.
Hi, no problem. Thank you for coming in, though.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
David Martin, could you show your video, please? Thank you. All right, and Brenda, we're not on the record. Mr. Tatlow, this is Albert Gutierrez and his client, Stephen Colson. I think you may be the pretrial services officer on this. So these are the issues with Mr. Colson. He lives in Lubbock, Texas. I want to keep him on GPS, but his attorney has told me, and Mr. Colson has told me through his attorney, that sometimes when pretrial services wants him in Bexar County, they don't give him enough notice, and he's driving in from Lubbock. And how long is that drive, Mr. Gutierrez?
Approximately 7 hours, Your Honor.
So it's a 7-hour drive, and that makes it very difficult for him. Is there any way to give him like a 24-hour notice?
No, ma'am. Whenever the alert generate, we call them within that hour or within the 30 minutes.
Okay, so let's do this because he's in Lubbock. And what alert are you receiving? You don't have any contact with the machine, or what's happening?
It's either a backplate tamper or hit our older models. That when we just got off his leg, those older models are starting to die, so we're giving him the newer models. So these newer models should last him a whole lot longer.
So does he have the newer model?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is what I'm asking so that we can solve this problem, because I want him to stay on GPS. I want the GPS to end up being tracking only.
Yes, ma'am.
And if there's a problem where there's not a connection with his GPS, do you call him?
Yes, ma'am. We call him for every alert that we get.
All right, so when you call him, the court, because his attorney wants him removed completely from GPS, and I don't want to do that. So when you call him, if he doesn't answer, what I would like is I would like the email to come to me so that I'll be the first person to know. And I would like for him to be given 24-hour notice.
Yes, ma'am. So when we do get alerts, the issue that I do have with Mr. Colson himself is when I tell him, hey, you have a device, and if I made it aware to him and his girlfriend or his wife, as soon as I let him know the alert, I get yelled at in the background by the girlfriend and the wife, letting them know, hey, you guys need to come down. We're trying to get you to, you may have to come down to back to San Antonio, and I'm getting yelled at by the girlfriend.
Here's the thing. We're about to stop this right now. Just give me a second. We're going back on the record.
Every time I tell him to come down, he's like, no, I need to call my attorney first. And I get it. I get it. He needs to call the attorney, but document when you sign the GPS paperwork, it says that if we call you, you have a certain many time to respond, and for him and his girlfriend to try to say that I'm harassing them, it's not.
So here's the thing. Right now, we're going to stop all the yelling. So I'm going to take care of that right now. We're back on the record in 2020 CR 5338. All right, Mr. Colson, could you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I never thought my job would really be mediation, but let me mediate for you. And I want Mr. Gutierrez to explain this to you. Your girlfriend is not on GPS. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I require that everyone in this courtroom treats everyone with respect. I don't care if you're the defendant, the accused, the attorney, the meter maid, whoever you may be. Everybody treats everybody with respect, because guess what? Officer Tatlow is doing his job, right? Your attorney does their job. I do my job. Everybody has their job. And Brenda will tell you, I always tell people, stay in your lane, whatever your job is. If you're a car and your job is tires, don't try to do anything but be tires. If you're the gasoline, just be the gasoline. Do not try to be the engine or anything else. Your girlfriend slash wife slash mother of your children is not allowed to be screaming at this officer. If that ends up happening, it's on you. You're going to have the consequences because you're the one who's on GPS. He doesn't need the grief because he's calling you, telling you that they've lost connection with your monitor. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So all that screaming at him, that's going to stop.
Can
And
I say
if
something
it
real quick?
happens again, we are going to have a problem. So right now, I'm being a mediator. So you're going to remain on GPS. So I'm trying to figure out to make GPS something that you can complete successfully. If you don't complete it successfully, what's going to end up happening is you may end up at the Bexar County Jail, not in Lubbock, but in Bexar County at the jail. And then Mr. Tatlow won't have to worry about your girlfriend slash wife slash mother, your children screaming at him because he's not going to need to have contact with her. And he's not going to need to have contact with you because you're going to be at the Bexar County Jail. So we are trying to work out a way that GPS can work. So, Mr. Tatlow, if he does not have connection to the GPS, can you send me an email with the violation? And if you can include his attorney in the email and the state in the email, is that possible or if that's too much work?
I believe I can email it to you. I just don't have any emails to the state or to the his attorney.
Okay, so if you can email it to me, and what I'll do, Mr. Gutierrez, when I receive an email for a violation, I'll email it to you and I'll include the state in the email and we'll figure out what's going on.
Yes, ma'am, because usually Lubbock, we don't have any stations out there for him. So we found out it's either in Dallas or he comes back to San Antonio. So we gave him options, either go to Dallas or he comes to San Antonio, and he's chosen San Antonio. And
all right, how far is Dallas from Lubbock? You know, I'm not up on my Texas geography.
I think Dallas is a little further than San Antonio.
Okay. So those are the only locations for him?
Yes, ma'am. Unfortunately, Lubbock hasn't established a Sentinel base there in Lubbock.
Lubbock, please establish a base for GPS.
Oh, I wish.
That's all I can do.
Much easier.
All right, so Mr. Colson, you choose to come to Bexar County for the GPS as opposed to Dallas, is that correct?
Yes, because it's further away.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else? I'm not going to remove GPS. I'll make GPS tracking. Is there anything else, Mr. Gutierrez?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I appreciate everyone's consideration on this, and I'm about to send Officer Tatlow my email so he can have it in the event he wants to use it.
All right, and in that email that you sent him, could you include Mr. Martin as well, please?
I will.
And me.
I will.
Thank you. Mr. Tatlow, I do appreciate you coming in.
Oh, yes,
I do notice.
Pleasure being in the court with you.
Oh, thank you. And I do notice you don't have any photos in the background. So I think that email that Albert is sending is a proof of life. You know, I always watch the movie Proof of Life where people don't have any photos in the background. So he's going to send that email.
Oh, yeah. I always kind of like keep it discreet in the background. Less is more.
Oh, that is so true. Do you need to speak with Mr. Colson or his attorney in a breakout room or the state in a breakout room before you leave?
No, man. Just wanted to make sure everybody knows, the court knows. Mr. Colson's very compliant with me. He's haven't had any issues. The only time I do have to contact him is unfortunately if there is device issues, but Mr. Colson can testify, and so does his attorney. It's very rare that I'm calling him on these occasions. And it's just, unfortunately, these older models, nothing we can do. Once they die, they die. We have to get them put back onto the newer models. And I don't want to put him in violation or put myself at risk of getting into trouble with you.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Officer Tatlow. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, ma'am. You too. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank
So-
you very much.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna thank Officer Tatlow and of course, thank you, Your Honor. We appreciate your time.
All right, you're welcome. All right, now the other thing about this case, where are we with discovery? Do you have all the CPS records?
Catching you flat-footed, Judge.
Okay, because the last time we were here December 2020 for discovery compliance for CPS records. And then we came back in January for discovery. And then we came back in February for motions. And now we're here. So I want to make sure that you have all the discovery.
I'm not going to say that I don't have it, Judge, but I don't have it in my computer. I don't know if perhaps it may have been sent by a CD or DVD, and I'm just not aware of it because my staff, but usually they would download it.
Well, I think the CPS records, you'll have to pick those up. I signed the order for the state to give you the CPS records.
And I'm not saying they haven't done it, Judge. I just, off the top of my head, I don't know. I just don't see it here in my computer folder, and I don't have the physical file in front of me, Judge. But I will confirm one way or the other, and then just check with Mr. Martin if I do not believe I have it.
All right, Norma, on Colson, can we recall this for the end of the month to make sure that all the discovery is taken care of? And then at that time, State, have you already tendered an offer?
Yes, we have.
All right, and then at that time, I'll give you your trial date. Norma, what time can they come back at the end of the month?
Judge, we can bring him back on the 20, let's bring him back on the 26th, Judge.
All right, Mr. Gutierrez, is that enough time for you and your client to discuss the offer and whether or not you'll be accepting it or rejecting it?
Yes, Your Honor, on that point, yes.
All right, so your plea deadline date will be on the 26th. And at that time, when you come back, if your client decides not to accept the offer, I'll give you your jury trial date. Or if your client wishes to have a bench trial, I'm always available for bench trials.
Perfect, Judge.
All right, thank you. You and your client are excused if there's nothing else.
That's all, Your Honor. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Anyone else back? Charles May?
Oh, Judge, I'm sorry, I had to break out to another Zoom meeting. Could I get back in breakout room 13, please?
Who's your client?
Mr. Patrick Sanchez, Your Honor.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's CTD, Your Honor.
All right, I'll send you to number 13.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Carl Basil, you're back.
Yes, Your Honor. I've talked to state. I have an offer if I can confer with my client.
All right, Nancy Gonzalez, where are you? Could you raise your hand for me, please? Is she in custody?
As far as I know, Your Honor.
I think she's called 23.
All right, I'm going to send her to breakout room number 7. Hopefully she goes there, and you may have to talk to her to get her to unmute.
Unmute, yeah. Okay, I'm used to that.
All right, thank you. All right, Miguel Hernandez.
Yes, Your Honor. I need to speak to Marcus again regarding Mr. Eduardo Munoz.
All right, if you go back to breakout room, I'll send you to number 8.
All right, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Juan Urbina.
Yes, Judge. We've conferred with the state. If I could confer with Mr. Eric Delgado, he's an inmate.
All right. Let me see where you were. All right, if you'll go to number 14, please.
Thank you, Judge.
And I'll send your client to number 14.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Richard Langlois, and then I'm going to take up James DeWiggins. Mr. Langlois, who do you have?
You're muted, Lingua. You can mute it.
No, I just unmuted.
Richard Langlois, who do you
Yes.
have?
Can you
Yes.
hear me, Judge?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's your client?
My client is home in
Yes.
bed, Judge. He's got colon cancer and he's, from my understanding, terminal.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Langlois, did you send documentation to the court?
I'm sorry, Judge.
Did you send documentation to the court on Jimmy Barrientos?
We can send it.
Yes,
All right, if you will email it to the court, please.
we'll get it, Judge. Here it is right here. Okay.
All right, thank you. Norma, on Jimmy Barrientos, can you give us a 2-month reset?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, there's a chat for you.
July 22nd.
I'm sorry?
July 22nd?
All right, we're going to come back on your case on July 22nd, Mr. Langlois.
Okay, Judge.
All right, thank you.
All right, I guess, tomorrow Zoom or in person?
Yeah.
Zoom?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
All right, thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow, Judge.
Thank you. All right, so Gonzalez, Norma, I was just told that Gonzalez is Ed Shaughnessy's client. Can you review that, please?
That's a different Gonzalez, yes, Your Honor. That's not mine.
Yes, thank you.
It's found out.
What is your Nancy
Nancy.
Gonzalez?
Yeah, Nancy.
Norma, can you see where Nancy Gonzalez is, please?
Unless she's bonded out, Your Honor, I can check on that.
All right, thank you. She is on bond. At least that's what it shows here. So we should see James Oldersdorf.
Judge Carruthers thanks you. They had a need for me. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. So are you ready to proceed with your client?
Yes, Your Honor. I just called to check back in with him and he should be in the courtroom.
All right, what is your client's name?
That would be Johnny Perez, Your Honor.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Johnny Perez? It's
David Martin, Judge. Family violence.
Okay, thank you. Courtroom, could you show your video, please?
Do the 187 DC.
Oh, okay, 187. Thank you. All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 9954, State of Texas versus Johnny Perez. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
David Martin.
For the defense?
Jim Oltersdorf.
And are you Mr. Johnny Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will note for the record that the defendant entered his plea by video. The defendant has applied for a deferred adjudication. The state opposes his application for deferred adjudication. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes.
State?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any objections, state, to the PSI report?
No, Judge.
Any objections from the defense to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and also the court is in receipt of a mental health evaluation. Have both parties reviewed that document as well?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, any objections to that document?
No,
From the state or the defense?
No objections from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, any objections to the court reviewing that document?
None from the defense, Your Honor.
Any objections from the state to the court reviewing that document?
No, Judge.
All right. State you're opposed to the defendant's application. Do you have any witnesses?
No, we did not.
All right, so I'm assuming it will just be argument. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct from the state.
All right.
I mean, correct from the defense.
Yes. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Just Mr. Perez, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Perez, if you would raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Johnny Joe Perez.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Perez, have you lived in San Antonio for how long?
I want to say I was about 11 years old.
We don't have to be absolutely exact. I'm just trying to make sure the court understands it. You basically lived here your whole life. And how old are you now, Mr. Perez?
I am 45 years old.
Okay. Besides the case that's in front of us today, what is your criminal history like?
I've obeyed the law. I had gotten in trouble back when I was young.
Okay. When you say young, what do you mean?
I was hanging around with the wrong crowd, and I got probation for back in '95.
Okay.
And,
was that a felony or misdemeanor, Mr. Perez?
I think it was a deferred felony. I think I deferred 10 years. I guess it's.
Okay, so you were on deferred for 10 years?
Yes.
What were you, do you remember what the charge was?
Burglary and habitation.
Okay. Did you finish your probation without being revoked?
Yes.
So you know what it means to be on probation, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that means you have to do a number of things, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you said you were on for 10 years. Did it terminate early or did you do the full 10 years on deferred?
The full 10.
Okay. Did you have any motions to revoke during that period of time?
I was at that time I was behind on payments.
Okay. But you reported, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you pay all the fines and court costs and everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you take drug tests? Do you remember if that was part of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Perez, you currently, do you live alone or what is your housing situation?
Yes, I live by myself.
Okay.
I live with right now, since I'm up in bond in Monterey, I live behind my brother's house, an RV.
Okay. Does he have any young children?
No.
So would you continue living under those arrangements behind your brother's house in an RV or whatever it is?
For the meanwhile, yes, so I can get something.
Okay, so you try to find something on your own.
Yes.
Do you work, Mr. Perez?
No, I'm disabled.
Do you receive disability?
Yes.
Can you tell the judge how much you receive? It's probably in your PSI, but we need to know.
I think it's like 1,200.
Okay. And what is the nature of your disability, Mr. Perez?
I got hit by a car, and it messed up both my legs and my hip.
Okay. When you, so do you, you've been receiving that a long time. Is that permanent?
Yes.
Okay. Is that through the Social Security or how does that originate?
Yes, the SSI, yes.
Okay, I got you. Now, Mr. Perez, you know you have a serious offense here. We're asking for probation for a serious charge. Having been through probation, having been through the court process up to now, are you willing to do everything that in your power to obey the rules of probation that Judge Boyd and probation would lay down for you, require you?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to be on probation?
Yes, sir.
If the judge ordered you, anything the judge ordered, and she can order pretty much anything, that's what a judge is allowed to do. Would you be willing to do that?
Yes, sir.
An open-ended commitment.
Yes, sir.
Now, you and I have been coming to court for quite a while. Your original lawyer was Virginia Maurer, I believe, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you had court with her for a little while, and then I came into the picture. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Now, you and I probably have been on Zooms here for about a year, maybe. Would you think that long or not?
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Okay.
Yes.
And then there was some time before that as well, correct? With
Yes.
Virginia.
Yes, sir.
And I guess what I'm speaking to is I believe in the period of time that I've known you, I met you on Zoom. I was appointed to you on Zoom. Does that sound right? Is that how you first
Yes.
met me? Okay.
Yes.
During that period of time, which is probably about a year, you have only appeared in court in person. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So you've come down here, would you say 10 times or
I
more?
want to say yes about 10 times. It seems a little bit longer, but yeah, I've been here.
Well, I know, but I mean, the point is that I don't ever recall, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, us ever having to look for you or remind you or do anything like that. You've always been here timely, and we've never had a problem getting you here. Am I correct on that or not?
Correct, sir.
So
Correct.
you've been here every single time, and whenever you were in the hall, we'd call you. If you were in the hall, you'd immediately come in, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's the way you would treat your probation, I hope, correct? That you would
Yes,
be
sir.
always on time, always attentive, always respectful, and everything that, along with all the other things on probation, you treat it as an important thing, and your court dates have been treated that way too. Is that correct, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Perez?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Perez, you did a mental health evaluation. Do you remember doing that with a doctor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And he wrote some things in there, and you and I have talked briefly about some of the things that I was concerned about on the phone before, correct?
Yes, sir.
And some of the things that the doctors laid out are what we basically talked about, that you were unable to read, correct?
Yes, sir.
But that you do possess all the mental faculties you need to enter a plea, correct?
Yes, sir.
And to be on probation and follow the rules, correct?
Yes, sir.
And in addition, you, even though you can't read, you don't have any other mental problems that you're receiving any treatment for. Am I correct?
No, just,
Okay.
no.
Well, is there anything that you're receiving any kind of treatment from a doctor for?
Just, depression, but that's about,
Okay, yeah, I was getting to that. You are being treated for seeing a doctor for that, and he
Yes.
prescribed something
Yes.
for you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did Dr. I don't recall if Dr. Jooms talked about that with you, did he?
Yes, he did.
Okay. John, I'm going to let the district attorney, if he wants to ask you some questions, go ahead and do that right now.
Yes,
And
sir.
so please treat him the same way you've always treated me and everything you've done in the court, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, state.
When you were on probation for that burglary, did you ever have an MTR filed?
No, I think it was just to go and do restitution to pay because I was behind on payments.
Okay, and you were on probation from June of 95 to June of 2005?
Yes.
But in October of 2004, you committed an assault?
Wait,
right?
repeat that.
I can't hear.
In October of 2004, you were arrested for committing an assault. Is that right?
Well, I was the victim in that case.
Okay, but it was reduced and you pled to a Class C misdemeanor assault?
It wasn't supposed to be. I was the one that was in the hospital.
Okay, but you pled to a reduced assault Class C misdemeanor where you were sentenced and
I
fined.
thought it was supposed to be off my record. I didn't get a fine.
So you didn't do that?
I didn't get a fine. I didn't even get nothing.
Okay, just like you're continuing to tell the PSI officer that in this case, you did nothing wrong. Is that right?
No, I'm talking about, well, no, I didn't. On that one, I was the one in the hospital.
I'm talking about the case that we're here for now, for where you're sexually abusing 2 children. You're still keeping in line with you did nothing wrong. Is that right?
The lady was asking me so many questions, I didn't know how to answer them.
Okay. Did you do anything wrong in this case?
I'm not gonna answer it.
I don't want to answer it, or I didn't hear you, sir. Repeat it.
I said, I'm afraid to answer anything. I'm afraid to answer anything against me.
Well, you've already pled and you've judicially confessed that what the two girls told the police is true and accurate. So did you do what the girls say you did?
I don't know the name of that word. I get mixed up on my words to say. I mean,
Were you sexually inappropriate with these two children?
I forget the words to say. I don't remember what.
It's either yes or no.
No, I'm not.
Were you sexually inappropriate with these two children? Yes?
No.
No.
No, sir.
No more questions, sir.
All right, defense?
Judge, we have no further witnesses. We'd like to talk to the issue of probation. So we would close on the issue of evidence.
All right. Mr. Perez?
Yes.
The court reviewed all of the information, the police reports, and the court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. You understand that, correct?
Yes.
All right, so there are allegations that I found sufficient that you committed this offense.
Yes, I mean.
And one of those allegations is licking the vagina or the private parts of a 7-year-old. You understand that?
Yes, I gotta read it.
And the other is putting your fingers inside of a 7-year-old. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. The court will hear argument. State, you can go first since you're opposed.
Judge, I mean, the fact that he continues to play the victim in a 2004 assault case that he pled to, and he continues to deny or fail to recognize what he has pled to in this case with sexually inappropriate behavior with two small girls, I don't think probation will do one thing for him in that regard, aside from keep him from going to prison, which is where he belongs for what he did. For people who accept responsibility for what they did and try and rehabilitate themselves and make amends for their action, he still sees nothing wrong with what he did. So prison is the only place for him, and we ask you to maximize the punishment based on the plea bargain.
All right, defense.
Judge, that's not what Mr. Perez has said. He has stated he's not saying he didn't do anything wrong, and he's not saying that he's just saying things that might reflect what you are reading in the toward the last page, 2 pages of the mental health evaluation, where Dr. Jooms lays out in I think bold paragraphs the way that if he's granted probation that he ought to be supervised. I think the important thing here is not what Mr. Martin is reaching for. Obviously, it's an important thing to be able to take responsibility, but this is a more of an exceptional problem with this gentleman, Mr. Perez, in that if we look at overall, this is a case from 2004. And if we think about, okay, when we're dealing with these kinds of cases, you know, when we try these kinds of cases, we're always looking about, is the jury going to think they're dealing with a predator? And I think that very simple question is answered in the answer of no. I mean, we're not dealing with someone that's a danger to the community. The fact that he's been substantially, I mean, we're talking about a long time here. And I can't sit there and say, okay, you know, he's never been in trouble. But I can tell you that the fact that this is an old case, we don't have this man, he's not following what sexual offenders would normally do, if you will. I mean, he stayed out of that, and it makes one think the answer to do we need to punish him? Do we or protect the community? And I think that maybe the answer is we need to punish him for sure, but maybe the answer is maybe we don't, because we don't need to be fearful of him being a predator, which I think is when we're dealing with these kind of cases, the most important question. I think you and I know from our experience, everyone, Mr. Martin, that's always the main thing that juries are looking for, and that we're looking for when we're doing this job, is what does the community want? What do they want? And I would say, yes, it's, there's a deterrent effect here by locking him up, obviously. But if we're going to lock him up for making this one huge mistake, 17 years ago, whatever time frame we're talking about, that's important, yes. But it's even more important to look at what goes forward in the future. And Mr. Perez has demonstrated he's essentially been on probation for a year, coming to your court, if you will. He's been on time. I think you've probably learned who the heck he is, because you see him standing up all the time. He's not doing something on Zoom. He's a little more, you're a little more familiar with what the things are that I've addressed about Mr. Perez's attendance, his respect for the court, his interest in being on time. And I think that he'll be monitored carefully. He's not going to reoffend because he's not a predator. I mean, the 17 years has demonstrated that there's nothing else has come forward since that period of time. He stayed out of trouble, and he has the ability to complete probation. He's done it. I realize sometimes people should not be given a second chance, but if there ever was a person that is a good candidate, both on his prior performance on probation and with you showing up in your court, and the time frame between the offense dates and today, this would be Mr. Perez. He clearly is, and I realize it's on the fence, but I think clearly the benefit of the doubt could go to Mr. Perez because of what the things are that I've already laid out for the court. I think that he would be very well suited and well controlled, and absolutely no problem to monitor Mr. Perez. So I would ask the court, take a long look at the mental health stuff. I didn't go over it. I know the court can read. He is a little slow. I think that's part of Mr. Martin's responses, if you will. But again, realizing that he was faced with a 25-99 case before because of the charge. So he entered a plea that he entered, and we don't know the reason why he answered exactly the way he answered. But maybe he was fearful, but maybe part of that goes to what you read in that mental health evaluation with regard to he's a easy to manage person, but he's also someone that will be very good on probation. So I'd ask you to please give Mr. Perez a chance. I think he'll be fine on probation, and I think that you won't have any problems at all. So I'd ask you to place him on deferred adjudication, Judge. Thank you.
All right. So according to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years if the court decides not to give Mr. I'm sorry. It decides not to give. No, I know it's Perez. I just received a message in the chat box. Off the record for a moment. Charlie Perkins, I need you to go to breakout room number 7, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your attorney is waiting for you there.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry about that, Mr. Pettis. It's, if you can see my screen, there are flashes of messages that appear on the side, and some are in all caps, which means people are shouting, please put this person in this room. So we're back on the record. Mr. Pettis, I did read your entire mental health report that I've received, and I take note of it. I'm very aware of people who have some mental health issues. I've read this PSI from cover to cover. As everyone will tell you, I love to read. So I read everything that I get, every period, every comma. This is not a good case for someone to be on deferred for. So I'm going to deny your application. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to follow the plea bargain agreement that you've reached. I'm going to sentence you to 5 years in prison, give you credit for any time served, and there will be Chapter 62 compliance, and there will be no contact with the complainants, which have already been mentioned at the previous hearings. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you will have registration compliance for the rest of your life. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Pettis, good luck to you. Use this as a time to think about things. Are there any victim impact? Or no?
Yes, there is, Judge. And she's on Zoom under Carly Uriagas.
All right, to the courtroom, if I could have the defendant back, please. And Miss Carly Uriagas.
Hi, my name is Veronica Uriagas. I'm not sure.
No, just one moment. To the courtroom, if I could have Mr. Pettis back on screen. All right, thank you. And Miss Uriagas, my understanding is that you wish to say something.
Yes.
All right, Miss Uriagas, let me just tell you, with these type of cases, I realize tensions run high, but I require everyone to treat everyone with respect. Mr. Pettis, everything that's said, please try to internalize it, and we'll go from there. All right, Miss Uriagas, you may start.
I don't understand, like, how you could do this to me. You were my only family. I took you in, my kids, my daughter called you dad. How could you do this to us? Like this is, it hurts. It hurts. When I found out, my heart dropped. I didn't know what to do. And this is the worst thing that I've ever been through. I don't. It's so hard. Like, it was hard. It was between you and my daughters, man. I loved you with all my heart. Like, everything. I gave everything to you. My life. When my family wasn't there for me, you were my family. I did everything for you. How could you do this to us? Your daughter, my daughter. This is the worst betrayal that I've ever had in my life. This hurts beyond, I don't even know. This hurts. It's hard. Like, to see you have to go through this because of what you did. If you stayed out of trouble, it was because I kept you out of trouble. But how can you live with yourself? Your daughter, our daughter. How could you do this to us? Oh my God, I don't even have any words. I can't forgive you, man. We've been through a lot together, a lot. And this is how I get repaid, how my girls get repaid. This hurts. It hurts. You were my family. I'm done. I can't. Like, this hurts.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Uriagas. Is there anyone else for victim impact or no?
No. My girls are scared to speak.
All right. All right. Deputies, you can take Mr. Perez now. Mr. Otersdorf, thank you for appearing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for letting me move around today like I needed to do a little bit of. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. Is Jonathan Watkins, do you need to speak with your client?
I just spoke to him, Judge, and we conferred with the state. We have an offer on the table. We're still reviewing stuff, Judge. I think we're gonna want a jury trial, but I'm gonna meet with my client in a couple of weeks. We're also going to file another motion to modify bond regarding the GPS, Judge, and I'll have that on file next week.
All right. Norma, on Obed Yadalis, can you give me a 30-day reset on that?
Yes, ma'am. That would be the 24th.
All right, we're going to come back on June 24th. Mr. Watkins, when you come back on the 24th, what I require the state to be prepared to do is to tender an offer, but they've already tendered that offer to you. So if you can talk with the state off docket to make sure you have all the discovery, and we'll come back on June 24th. It'll be by Zoom. And Mr. Watkins, if there are any motions you want filed, just contact the coordinator and we'll set it and hear them.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. We'll have that filed on the by Monday. Judge, on that other case that I had, I know we couldn't get my client over here, but could I confer with Mr. Joe Ray Garcia?
Who is your, well, just one second. Mr. Uridalis, you're excused.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much for your time today and have a beautiful day.
Oh, you too. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. And who is your other client, Mr. Watkins?
Wait, his name is Michael Moreno. He got a bunch of cases, but he had we were here talking with him, and he had a warrant. You told him to turn himself in. He was arrested last Friday, and I think he might be remanded on a couple of cases for a violation report, picking up 2 misdemeanors.
All right. Is it on the docket today though?
It might not be, Judge, and I can
All right.
email.
No, if you can just wait and if you could go to sort of like the end of the line for us, please.
Judge,
Could I zoom back?
I'm sorry to interrupt. He won't be here till tomorrow.
Okay, I'll be back tomorrow then.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too, ma'am.
Yes.
Can you have Melendez go to 6 and Sanchez to 13?
All right. How's Melinda listed on the screen?
Melendez, he's in custody.
And you say number 6?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't see.
He's L4.
L4.
Melendez, could you go to number 6, please? Look at you know what? I'm going to send you to number 4. It should pop up on the screen. He's there now.
Okay.
Yay.
And Judge, don't forget Ed Shaughnessy's in the courtroom.
All right, just one second. Marcus, and who is the other person?
He went, Sanchez went. So I'm good. Thank you, Judge.
Melendez is back.
Melendez, if you go to 6, please. Okay, I think hopefully he will get there. Yes. Yay. Ed Shaughnessy, who do you have in the courtroom? Ed Shaughnessy. Yeah, there we go. Juan Abrena.
Yes, Judge. I conferred with both the client and the state. We are ready to move with the pre-agreement. So if we could have a date, we just set a date for that.
Oh, the state will get the paperwork ready for you today. We can do it today.
Okay.
All right, thank you. State, there's a plea bargain agreement on Eric Delgado. Frankie Sandoval.
Yes, Judge. Good morning. Hunter and I spoke earlier, and he's got a
call into the advocate to confirm some information that may affect the offer. As you know, I was appointed on this last month. So just wanting some time to see if that offer can be tweaked, and then we can come back, Judge.
All right, Joe Ray, when will this be done?
Oh, it's Hunter Morris, Judge.
Oh, Hunter, sorry.
Judge, the advocate's already made contact with the grandson of our complainant, and they're just trying to get a restitution figure. There were some notable injuries in this case, so we're trying to get that restitution figured out before we move forward with the plea. Hopefully within the next week or two, Judge.
All right, so Norma, can we recall Mr. Friedman in 2 weeks? Is that enough time, Mr. Sandoval?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
And then Ed Shaughnessy, I'm taking you next.
Thank you, Judge.
June 7th, Judge.
All right, so June 7th. And is your client in custody or on bond?
No, he's on bond, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Freeman, we'll need you back here by Zoom on June 7th. All right.
Is there
June
yes,
7th.
ma'am. Okay, I was gonna ask you about the partial. Can I get partial so I can give me a job? I need my.
All right, we will take that up when your attorney files a motion for that. And as soon as your attorney files the motion for that, which I'm sure Mr. Sandoval will do soon, we'll have a hearing on that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. What we would be doing would be re-urging the prior one that we have, Your Honor, on file.
Okay, if you contact Ms. Ferguson and she'll put a
Girls in jail, right?
a setting for that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. So June 7th, and if the motion is set before June 7th, we'll hear that then as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Judge Carl, can I get in line for an update?
Thank you. Ed
Okay.
Shaughnessy?
You're in the courtroom, Your Honor. My client's
Yes.
in custody. I'm not entirely sure where this case has been. My records show that I got an offer 11 months ago.
Okay, and what is your client's name? Is it Nancy?
Well,
or-
she's been booked under two names, Josie Rodriguez and Josephine Gonzalez. I think she's Josephine Gonzalez for the purposes of this.
Yes. Oh, what happened is your client, there was a bond forfeiture issued for her because she's been gone since
Oh, okay.
October.
Well,
So
that
she's here on the screen. Would you like to speak with her?
Indeed, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Gonzalez, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with your attorney to the courtroom. If you could go to breakout room number 8, please.
Yes, Judge.
And Ms. Gonzalez, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8. All right, Carl Basil.
Yes, Your Honor. I did contact pretrial on my client, the other Gonzalez, Nancy Gonzalez. She's on pretrial. They have had no contact with her recently. And I called the number that they gave me and I left a message, but I haven't heard back.
All right, just give me one moment. Court is calling 2021 CR 2979, State of Texas versus Nancy Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Anyone from the state?
Thom Nisbet for the state.
For the defense?
Carl Basil, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
None.
Your Honor.
Okay. This hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:13 a.m. There has not been a Nancy Gonzalez on the Zoom screen. Deputy Laura, has there been a Nancy Gonzalez in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
No, Your Honor, I have not. I did contact Bear County pretrial and they told me they haven't had any contact with her recently either. I called the number they provided, left a message, but have not heard back.
All right, state.
We asked for a warrant and a bond forfeiture, Judge.
That'll be granted, and I'll remand your client without bond. If you have any contact with your client and she presents herself to the court, of course, the court will reconsider.
I'll continue to try and contact her, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Maybe excuse, Your Honor.
Yes. Ed Shaughnessy? You're muted, Mr. Shaughnessy. No, they just need to turn on the don't touch that one. That's okay. All right, yes, what is happening?
I need to talk to a member of the district attorney's office regarding this matter.
All right, courtroom.
It's not a family violence matter, so.
Courtroom, if you will go to number 9, and if someone from family violence could go to number 9, please.
Your Honor, it's not family violence. It's a CTD matter.
All right, because someone from criminal trial division and go to number 9 on Josephine Gonzalez, please. All right, Carl, I'll get to you just after I finish with Mr. DeWiggins, who has been waiting patiently. James DeWiggins.
Yes, Your Honor. Waiting to address the issue with Mr. Benson.
All right, thank you. All right, what is the issue with Mr. Benson?
Mr. Benson, we have worked out a tentative solution to his MTR, which requires him going to SATF. However, he's being evicted from his home, and if he goes to SATF right now, he will lose everything he's accumulated in the last 20 years that's in that house. And so he's asking the court for 30 days PR bond to go and get his possessions to his mother's place, and then to turn himself in to await a SATF bed. Mr. Nisbet is against that. However, we've agreed on the rest of the resolution for the MTR. It's just the 30 days. So before he signs on or pleads true, he's trying to ask the court for permission to go home and salvage his stuff. And if you'd like me to call him, I'll be happy to.
All right, just give me one moment, please. All right, Norma, I'm going to make you host. I'm going to have to sign out. Something happened on my end. So I'm going to sign out, make you host, and then come back. All right, thank you, Norma. I don't know what, something haywire went on this end. Okay. And who's the prosecutor you were speaking with?
Tom, whatever, am I muted? No, everything he said is correct.
Okay.
I agree to everything he said. He
All right,
represented my position correctly.
All right, Mr. Benson, can you unmute, please?
Talk now? Can you talk?
Yes. All right. We're not on the record yet, Brenna. Mr. Benson?
Yes, ma'am.
Your attorney is telling me that you need to get a chance to get your affairs in order or something.
Yes, ma'am.
What is going on?
Well, I'm getting evicted out of my house, you know, after I've been arrested the first time. Y'all put me on 30 days in jail. Then they put me 30 days on monitor at home. And then that put me behind in my bills. And I never did get a chance to catch up because I was the only one paying bills in the house after my wife died, you know. And I got farther and farther behind in my bills. And now I'm getting put out of my house. And now I got to just get everything out of my house and move to my mom's place and then take up, y'all want me to go to Saturn or wherever.
All right. All right, let me just tell you what I'm inclined to do. And of course, I will keep an open mind. I'm inclined because I think you need something more strenuous than SATIF. I'm inclined, let's hear this motion. I'm inclined to send him to felony drug court. He'll remain in custody until felony drug court interviews him and accepts him. They'll be able to interview him they'll be able to interview him, and when they accept him, they will take on his conditions.
I don't understand what that means. I
Oh,
don't understand the possible.
this is the thing. I think he needs more than SATIF. I think
Okay.
he needs someone in his life on a day-to-day basis
That's fine.
because he won't stop using alcohol,
Okay.
allegedly. So I think the appropriate place for him would be felony drug court. I believe felony drug court has room for him. I believe they will accept him. So if felony drug court accepts him, felony drug court will make the decision for his placement, but felony drug court will be able to probably interview him by next week. But letting him out, these are issues. Because he is on probation for driving while intoxicated third or more, and allegedly, he won't stop drinking alcohol. And I have no, I don't have any assurances that if I were to let him out to handle his affairs, one, I don't have any assurances that he will handle his affairs. Two, I don't have any assurances that he just won't use this as a time to binge, which is usually what I found as a defense attorney and as a prosecutor, and from what I've seen as a judge, and what I've seen when I've been in treatment courts as an attorney, is that people use it as a time to say, you know what? I know I'm going in inpatient. Let me drink all I'm going to drink. Let me do the drugs, all that I'm going to do drugs, and then go into inpatient. This will be my last hurrah. And I don't have any assurances that that won't happen with your client. So what I think should happen is that we have him interview for felony drug court, and felony drug court will probably accept him if he has a drug or alcohol problem, which it appears that he does. And they will probably be able to interview him and take care of everything by next week.
Does that mean it's possible that he gets out and can handle his affairs after they accept him?
That will be completely up to felony drug court, whatever felony drug court wishes to do.
Okay, well, is that your decision on the MTR then, Judge?
I mean, I think basically everything I'm reading, unless there's something else that somebody wants to present to me, I don't feel comfortable letting him out of custody to do whatever he wants to do. And it appears that there is a drug issue based upon what you've told me, what the state has told me by recommending SATIF. But I do know in order for drug court to accept him, this motion to revoke must be taken care of.
Okay. All right, may I confirm with him, please?
Yes. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. And Mr. Benson, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Yes, Ed Shaughnessy. Yes, go to the breakout room, Mr. Benson.
How you go there?
If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see boxes. Do you see where it says participants, chat, breakout room? Oh, thank you. You know, it is such a great day when people are helping each other. If only we would do that on a regular basis. Ed Shaughnessy, I cannot hear you.
Ed, you have to unmute the court.
Got it.
Yes.
So just some member of the district attorney's office, I don't really matter to me.
But have you spoken to anyone?
No, not yet.
All right. Could someone speak to Ed Shaughnessy? He will be in breakout room number 7.
Got a formal. I'm happy to talk to him, Judge.
All right, Hunter will speak with you. Jason Goss. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason, just one second. I know you've been patient. but there's someone who has drained all of their pockets of patience because I keep telling them I'm going to get to them, and that is Carl Alexander.
Thank you, Judge. I still have more patience though.
Oh, thank you. You have
So
Mr. Perkins.
my client and I have come to an agreement with Thom, Charlie Perkins. I just have a question about logistics. So I would be a lot more comfortable printing out the paperwork and going over it in person with my client. So we're going to make arrangements for him to come to my office this afternoon to do that. So my question is, do you want us to come do the plea after lunch, or do you want us to come first thing tomorrow morning?
Oh, we can come back this afternoon and do the plea.
Okay. And do you want to give me like a hard time that kind of gives me a time frame to work within?
All right, Norma, can they come back at 2:30 or 3 for a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
2:30 or 3, Mr. Alexander?
Okay, can we do 3 judges to give us ample time?
Yes.
Thank you so much. And then I'm going to shoot Thom in the chat the emails that I need, that he needs for the paperwork. And then after I do that, can Mr. Perkins and I be excused until 3 o'clock?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlie,
All
I
right.
have to sign off. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Jason Goss.
Yes,
Then
Your
we're
Honor. I
going to do
have,
Miguel, and then it's going to be Adam. Yes.
yes, Your Honor. I have Noah Cruz. He's present here in the courtroom.
Yes.
I mean, in the Zoom room. So I've been speaking with Joe Ray about this, and he gave me a plea offer last night. And so I have not been able to go over this with the client, and there's some more discovery that I need to look at with him. So if I could get a reset to be able to consider that, and then have an answer for you by the time we get back.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Cruz. How much time do you need, Mr. Goss?
Probably 30 days.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Cruz, can you recall that for 30 days?
Yes, ma'am, the 24th.
All right, we'll see you on June 24th, and I'll note in the file that an offer has been tendered. All right, thank you for your patience. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Adam Cobbs.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm back. I don't know if the third-party representative checked in or not, but
All right, and what is your third-party client's name?
Jamarian Smith.
All right. Is there a prosecutor available?
Thom Nisbet. looks
There is the intervener for the third party of the prosecutor who's available.
Okay. All right. Court is calling 2019 CR 10692 and 2020 CR 3290, State of Texas versus Jamarian Deontay Smith. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Thom Nisbet for the state.
for the defense?
Adam Cobbs, attorney for the intervener third party.
All right. And that intervener third party would be Mr. Jamarian Smith.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
For the record, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:27 a.m. I'm sorry, 11:28 a.m. There has not been a Jamarian Deontay Smith on the Zoom screen. Deputy Laura, has there been a Jamarian Deontay Smith in the courtroom at all today?
No, Your Honor, he has not.
Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Judge, I have sent via email and text communications for today's Zoom meeting to the last numbers that I have and emails. They've worked previously. I'm not sure if there's any issue currently or if changed phone numbers or email, but I have not had replies to my latest attempts.
All right, state.
Judge, we ask for a bond forfeiture and a warrant, please.
All right, that will be issued in each cause, and in each cause number, the court will remand your client without bond. Mr. Cobbs, if you're able to get in touch with your client, and if your client presents himself, the court will of course reconsider.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. He may be residing with his mother, and so I'll make every attempt.
All right, thank you.
Judge,
Your
is that-
excuse. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment, please. All right, Mr. May.
Yes, Your Honor. Visited with Marcus, and he says he needs a couple of weeks to visit with his victim. So if we could get a reset.
All right, Norma, on Patrick Sanchez. Could we recall this in a month, please?
Yes, ma'am, the 24th.
All right, we'll come back on June 24th. State at that time. Marcus Sanders, are you there?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, June 24th, will that give you enough time to get in touch with the complainant?
Yes, but if I could speak to Charles in the breakout room real quick. All right.
Yes.
After this.
All right, Charles, let me find out where you are. Charles, if you go to breakout room number 9, and we're resetting you and your client for June 24th by Zoom.
Thank you, Your Honor. After this, may I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
And my client too?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Miguel Hernandez.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Judge, to interrupt. I can send Sanchez back.
Yes.
Thank you.
Judge, I've spoken to Mr. Eduardo Munoz and Mr. Antonio Melendez.
Let's start with Eduardo Munoz.
Yes, we made a counteroffer. The state countered that, but my client doesn't want to accept what the offer and wants a trial. So if you could please put us on the trial docket for that.
Mr. Munoz, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Munoz, your plea deadline date in these cause numbers have expired today, so the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we will schedule you for a jury trial. Norma, on Mr. Munoz, what day can we call him back so I can give him his jury trial date?
You were muted, Norma.
Sorry, May 28th.
All right, Mr. Munoz, you're going to come back on May 28th. And at that time, I will give you your jury trial date. You can either have a jury trial or you can have a bench trial. Just so you know that jury trials have resumed in Bexar County. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then Norma, can you let them know that 14K can go back? Do you need to speak with your attorney anymore, Mr. Munoz?
I think we already spoke. He said he was going to come visit me.
I am, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, if you can let them know that he can go back, and we'll see you back on the 28th for the court to give you your jury trial date.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
And Miguel, just give me 1 second. Let me write this in the file.
That's fine, Judge.
And state on Mr. Eduardo Munoz, he has several cases. If you can let the defense know which case you would like to go to trial on first, please. And that can be done on the 28th so that he'll be ready.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And who else do you have?
Antonio Melendez.
All right. And what is happening with Antonio Melendez?
The offer hasn't changed. He basically does not want to accept the offer. He wants a jury trial also, Your Honor.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Melendez, let me see if he's still in a breakout room.
He may not have stayed.
Okay. I think he's no longer in a breakout room. Norma, also, can you call these for a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am, on the 28th.
All right, and Norma, could you note on your docket sheet that he needs a Spanish interpreter?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you back on May 28th on that as well. The court has the discovery acknowledgement.
Yes, Judge.
And state again, if you'll be ready to let him know which case you want to proceed on first on that date. And Mr. Hernandez, if you want to see if your client would like a bench trial, let me know.
I will, Judge. I'm going to go speak with him. I'm going to try to do it before Monday.
All right, thank you. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Judge. Everybody have a good weekend. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And everyone, just give me one moment. All right, Terry Carter, and then Mr. Wiggins, I'll take you up. Terry Carter.
Thank you, Judge. I'm here on Nicholas Valdez. I've conferred with Family Violence. They will be rejecting all of the family violence cases pending in your court. Marcus is awaiting those to be processed, and we're going to continue to confer on a possible probation. Unfortunately, I have been diligently trying all morning to get Mr. Valdez to appear on the Zoom, and I have not received a response. Could I ask the court to confirm that he's not in the courtroom?
Yes. Deputy Laura, is there a Nicholas Valdez in the courtroom?
No, Your Honor, he is not.
Yes. Okay. Nicholas Valdez, are you on the Zoom screen? Could I have a prosecutor, please? Court is calling 2020 CR 12336 and 2020 CR 12335, State of Texas versus Nicholas Valdez. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Terry Carter.
We're proceeding by Zoom because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No objection.
This hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:36 a.m. The defendant, Nicholas Valdez, has not been on the Zoom screen. Deputy Laura, has Nicholas Valdez been in the courtroom at all today?
No, Your Honor, he has not.
And the court will note for the record, in each of these cause numbers on April 13, 2020, the defendant was a no-show, and it was to be recalled for April 28 at 2 p.m. And now we have another no-show from your client. Ms. Carter, have you had any contact with your client?
Not today, Your Honor. I have not had any contact with him.
All right, state.
Judge, we're asking that you forfeit his bond and issue a warrant.
All right, that will be granted, and I'll remand your client without bond.
Understood, Your Honor. If I'm able to have him present himself to the court, would you reconsider recalling the warrant or at least issuing a bond?
A computer at home?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused at this time?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. DeWiggins, what are we doing with your client?
We'd like to go ahead and proceed with the MTR so we could get the ball rolling on the drug court thing, and
All right,
we'd like to go ahead and plead today.
You would need to, Norma, on Mr. Benson, could you give them a consent to plea form, please? Mr. Sanchez, they're going to take you back.
And we're going to need the waiver of appeal too.
No, you just need the consent to plea. Mr. Sanchez, Patrick Sanchez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're going to come back on June 24th, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and just remain in your seat. They'll have a deputy come to remove you.
Yes, ma'am. You have a blessed day, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You too.
Yeah, I think I'm ready, sir. The judge said I'm ready.
What did they say last? What did they say last?
I think the judge
Yes,
said I'm ready.
he's telling me you're done, that you received a reset.
I received the recess, sir, the judge said.
Reset?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Paperwork, you already done?
Shaughnessy, how's it going?
I got to talk to 3 different prosecutors.
Go ahead and tell corporate real quick that you have a reset.
Gave me an offer, but I
Oh,
can.
yeah, I got on 24th.
Just one second. Let me mute them. All right, thank you. All right, what did you say, Ed?
I got to talk to 3 different prosecutors.
See?
And they gave me an offer and I have to relay it to my client, but she doesn't appear to be on anywhere on the screen.
Yes, she's in breakout room number 20. I'm sorry, number 8. Let me send you to breakout room number 8.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Judge, I think Jerry Kagan needed to speak with the prosecutor as well.
All right, Jared Kagan.
No, Judge, I've conferred with the prosecutor, and this is our first setting, so I was going to ask the court for a reset.
Who's your client?
Jessica Aragon.
All right, have you received an offer from the state?
We have.
All right, has it been tendered to your client?
It has.
All right, so what, is she not accepting the offer?
Well, Judge, it's one of those situations where I have to go over things with her family as well.
All right. Norma, on Miss Jessica Aragon.
Yes, ma'am.
Recall this in 30 days, please.
The 24th.
All right, Miss Aragon, you're going to come back on June 24th. How old are you?
26.
All right, so I understand that your attorney is telling me that you want to discuss things with your family, but at the end of the day, this is your case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. We'll see you by Zoom on June 24th.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, ma'am.
Mr. Kagan, you are excused.
Judge, can you put me back in the room with Mr. Benson so when that form comes through, we can go over it together?
Yes, you can go to breakout room number 1.
Thank you.
And Brenda, we call his name 3 times and look who appears.
Mr. Cornelius?
No, Nicholas Valdez.
Oh.
Judge, this is Rebecca. I'm going to step away really quick.
All right, thank you. All right, Ed Shumsey, you're back.
I am not, I haven't left, Your Honor. Could I get back in with the prosecutor and I'll confirm what I think we got going on here?
All right, prosecutors.
It was
Who are the Hunter?
It was-
If you
it
can
was
go to
Hunter.
number 9, please.
Yes, Judge.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And we're rolling now.
Yeah. And Norma, I'm going to put in the chat box the attorneys that we are missing. All right, Terry Carter, you're back.
Yes, Judge, I was just made aware that Mr. Valdez has logged on to the Zoom. If I could have a moment to speak with him and then address the court regarding the warrant. I have not had an opportunity to talk to him since he's logged on.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Judge, on the first one, on Zachary Prince, he was supposed to hire an attorney. He was supposed to have an attorney here today.
All right, and where's Zachary? Let's take that up right now. Zachary Prince,
Yes, ma'am.
where's your attorney?
I was just gonna have one appointed to me.
No, that's not how it works.
That's what you,
Who was
you took-
your, let me ask you this, was your previous attorney hired?
Yes, Nathaniel Navy, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you need one appointed?
Yes, that's what you had told me 2 weeks ago, that if I couldn't get one, that I was gonna be interviewed for one.
Okay, so are you able to afford an attorney or no?
No, not right now.
Okay, we're gonna make sure you have an attorney. Just hold on. Norma, if you can check to see who is coming up on the wheel for this.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Go on, sir.
All right, so just give us a moment, Mr. Prince, be patient. We're gonna have an attorney appointed to you before you leave here, so you'll know who they are.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Ed Shaughnessy?
Yes, Your Honor. We have reached an agreement with the state. I don't have, my schedule's kind of cramped up. I was wondering if we could do the plea tomorrow because I'm scheduled to be in your court tomorrow afternoon anyway.
Just one second. As soon as Ms. Ferguson gets off the phone, she'll let me know.
What's that? Doesn't look all that yummy.
Norma, can we recall Josephine Gonzalez for tomorrow for a plea?
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
All right, and Mr. Tatlow, I'm so sorry. When people have their screen black, I just tend to pass over them, but I'm gonna meet you in a breakout room right now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we will bring your client back then tomorrow, Mr. Shaughnessy.
Okay.
And Norma, can you let them know that L23 can go back?
Your Honor, would that be in, my other hearing is scheduled for 1:30. Would this plea be the same time?
All right, we'll put it, Norma, can we put it at 1:30? Probably more like 2, but
Well, yeah, sure.
all right, it'll be for the afternoon. Do you
Okay.
need to speak with her again or no?
No, I told her that I would see her tomorrow.
Okay. All right, and then Jonathan Tatlow, if
Thank
I
you,
can
Your
meet you in breakout room number 3. And everyone, I will be right back.
Be excused, Your Honor. Yeah.
Yes, you're excused.
Okay, thanks.
Marcus, I just sent you a remind on withdrawal from yesterday.
I signed it like maybe an hour ago.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that. Thanks.
No problem.
All right, everyone, I am checking my email. Here we are, Mr. Benson.
Judge, I send you a chat.
Okay, just give me a moment. I don't have anything in my chat, Norman.
I forgot to send.
All right, is there a prosecutor available on Mr. Benson?
Yes, Judge.
It went through.
All right, thank you. Just give me a moment. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 8253W, State of Texas versus Ronnie Benson. Mr. Benson, can you unmute for me, please? Press that long key. It's a long bar. Just press that, please, and hold it. All right. Oh, Mr. Benson, hold it down. Okay, just hold it down. Don't let it up. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 8253W, State of Texas versus Ronnie Benson. Could I have the parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Thom Nisbet.
All right, and for the defense?
James DeWiggins.
All right, and are you Mr. Benson?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No.
Any objection from the defense?
No.
Mr. Benson, you signed a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Mr. Benson, I'm going to show you a document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And
yes, ma'am.
are you the same Ronnie Benson who was placed on community supervision in 2020 CR 8253W for the offense of driving while intoxicated, third or more, on August 27, 2020 for a term of 6 years?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Judge. In condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Ronnie Benson, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the month of January 2021 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State?
State waives the remaining allegations.
Any objections?
No objection to that.
Mr. Benson, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 6 years in prison and up to, 6 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
Not really, because when we came to you, you decided that you were going to send him to drug court. So
No, I mean, I know there's not an agreement technically, but state, what are you requesting?
Judge, the state was requesting to follow probation's recommendation, which was for inpatient drug treatment. And the state and the defense were in disagreement as to the release of the defendant prior to any resolution of this case. However, we would defer to the court's judgment based on the defendant's plea of true.
All right, so I'm assuming that both parties are in agreement that the motion should be denied. Is that correct, state?
Yes, that is true.
All right, defense.
And
is
then
that
the
correct?
state is also, yes, sorry, Judge.
No, no problem. And the state is also?
TIC Nightmag 613106 in exchange for the defendant's plea of true. We are also in agreement with that.
Okay, and that's 613106?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so this is what the court is going to do. Mr. Benson, it appears to the court that you do have an alcohol or some type of drug issue. And I personally think that SATA it's a good program, but I think you need a program where someone is going to be able to impact your life in a positive way on a daily basis. And that place is felony drug court. So I'm going to refer you to felony drug court. You're going to remain in custody for your evaluation. And if he's not accepted, then SATA. And Norma, can we recall Mr. Benson back in 2 weeks to make sure that he has already been interviewed for felony drug court?
Yes, ma'am.
And what date?
Judge, I'm gonna bring him back on June 1st.
All right, and for the record, cause number 613106 is being taken into consideration. Mr. Benson,
Yes,
how old are you?
60.
All right, Mr. Benson, it's time for you to get your life in order, because if you don't, there's not going to be good things that happen. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't take as true the case that the state is taking in consideration. I'm not taking that as true because I haven't received or seen anything on it. But I do know that that's a drug case, which signifies to me that you do need help with drug and alcohol. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So sometimes, you know, we think our life is falling apart. It's being destroyed. I know you're saying you're going to lose your house. You're going to lose items, but those are just items. The most important thing in your entire life is your health. And if we don't take care of that, the number of items you have will mean nothing. If you don't have your health, that's a problem. My mom always says that anytime you have a problem that money can't solve, that's a problem. So money sometimes can't solve your health problems, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Rebecca, I'm gonna send you to a breakout room with Mr. Benson.
And Judge,
Mr.
I'm sorry,
Benson?
it's gonna be June 7th, not June 1st, June 7th.
All right, June 7th, Mr. Benson, but I'm gonna keep tabs on everything, Mr. Benson, to make sure that you are in felony drug court and they evaluate you. All right, Mr. Benson, can you go to breakout room number 2 for me, please? Did something pop up on your screen?
Hey, what you want me to do?
Go to number 2.
How you do that?
All right, can you, I'm gonna move you. Tell me if something pops up on your screen. Did anything pop up?
No, just you.
Well, hopefully I'm bringing sunshine to your life. Norma, can you have somebody help Mr. Benson go to breakout room number 2, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And Rebecca, I'll send you to number 2. And everyone, just give me a brief moment, please.
Let me let go this long key.
Oh, no, somebody's going to help you. Just give us a moment, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I can let this go now. Right?
Yes.
All right. And Tom and Norma, can I see you both in breakout room number 1, please? Tom Nisbet, see you in number 1, please. Is he frozen in time? All right, Nicholas Valdez. Nicholas Valdez,
Yes, Judge.
you need to show your video.
It's on.
Why are you always late? And why do you not show up all the time? What's the problem?
This is my first time being late, and the one time I didn't show up, but this is.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
So what
I
is
understand.
more important in your life than being out and about? Do you want to go to jail?
No, I
You hear
don't.
your case from the jail.
I was late this morning because I was working all night. And I mean, all night I got.
All right, and now he's frozen. And the court, we're taking our break at 12:30. Mr. Urbina, have you done all your paperwork?
I haven't received anything, Judge.
What? Who's in charge of his paperwork on Eric Delgado?
I was conferring with Mr. Urbina earlier. I wasn't aware that anything was accepted.
Yes, he said his client is accepting the plea.
Oh, well, I'll work on the paperwork, Judge.
Hey, happy Thursday.
Sorry about that, Hunter.
Oh, Mr. Urbina, what we're going to do is we're going to come back. If you can come back or Zoom back in either at 2:30 or 3. And we'll do your client's plea. Is your client in custody or on bond?
He's in custody, Judge.
All right, so we'll get your plea done.
2:30?
Yes, 2:30 or 3.
I'll be back at 2:30.
All right, thank you. And the state will be sending you your paperwork.
Thank you. May I be excused for now, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let me put that on here, 2:30. And Hunter, can you make sure Norma knows what the plea is so she can have appropriate paperwork?
Yes, Judge, I'll send it to her right now.
Mr. Valdez?
Well, I guess.
I'm sorry, Hunter, yes?
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. Mr. Urbina didn't clarify. I gave him 2 options.
Do you have his number? If not, I'll put what's on the docket in the chat box. I'm sure Norma probably has his cell number, but I'll put what's on the docketing sheet in the chat box. All right, there we are. Nicholas Valdez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so what's more important than being in court?
Nothing. I was.
Okay, we're gonna take our break. He's frozen in time. So if you can let him know to appear in the 187 District Court this afternoon, and I'll take up the bond forfeiture and the remand without bond at that time. But he needs to appear in court.
What time, ma'am?
You need to be here by 3. Are you in Bexar County?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so just make it here by 3 o'clock, okay?
Thank you. I'll be
You're
there.
welcome.
And Judge, may I zoom in at 3 o'clock?
Yes, you still can appear by Zoom.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, everyone, we are going to take our lunch break so that Brenda can have her lunch break. Brenda, if you can go on lunch. No, Mr. Gear, just give us a moment. Mr. Delgado, can you unmute for me, please?
Okay.
On your case, we're going to come back at 2:30 and take care of it today, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
So I go back?
No, just remain there because the deputies don't like you moving around. So
All right.
and when I say you, I mean everybody, so that they can keep some sort of order and know where everyone is. So
Yes,
we'll
ma'am.
let them know to take you back.
Okay.
Mr. Greer, could you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna bring you back this afternoon as well.
Okay.
Your attorney, Mr. White, he hasn't shown up yet.
Is this
So
for the
we're gonna
Excuse me.
find out. Yes,
I apologize. Is this for the F2 robbery, right?
this is for the robbery. Yes.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. So just remain in your seat and we're gonna have you come back. Mr. Prince, we're still getting an attorney for you, so just wait and we'll make sure you have your attorney, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone, we're gonna stop live stream and we will pick